Om Jantimarandasya Janam Chaitanyamalistam Sapitam Swayam Rupa Nama Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Chaitanya Namaste 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 Kamsa Kapatya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami Krishna. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to all of you for your very nice offerings today. And thank you for your ongoing and dedicated devotional service that you're performing. Just a few points. In the beginning, when we were having, you'll be pleased to know that when we were having kirtan in the beginning, I looked through the gate here, and there was one Muslim lady there, and she had her very heavy makeup on her eyes and her very red lipstick on her lips and her scarf over her head. And she was looking through the gate and she was smiling from ear to ear. And she was going, it was very, very pleasing to see. And then I mentioned that I give my thanks for the kind offerings that you have presented. I say this every year, but I feel obliged that I must say, I do not feel myself worthy to receive such kind words, but because you are all very merciful Vaishnavas, you can you offer these kind words and you offer kind service. So therefore, I'm very indebted to you that you are all assisting me in my service to my eternal spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Your offerings were very good, meaning they were shastric. And oftentimes we attend these functions and people, they sometimes sort of ad lib or they just speak from the cuff and they may say some nice things or they may relate some joking anecdote that they've experienced with myself, which isn't a hard thing to do because I'm a joking man. But when I heard the Shastra, and so many of you all were repeatedly quoting scripture in your offerings, then I could see that you're studying Srila Prabhupada's books, or you're listening to Srila Prabhupada's lectures, or that you're listening to lectures by exalted Vaishnavas. And this really gives pleasure to my heart. We can just reflect on that instance. I spoke about it the other day when I was, I guess it was in Dallas the other morning, when I gave Bhagavatam class. But we spoke about that section from the Brihad Bhagavatamitam when Gop Kumar is in the Brahman effulgence, and he receives the merciful association of the greatest Vaishnava of the Lord Shiva. And Shiva gives him mercy. And then after he receives mercy from Lord Shiva, then the Vishnu Dutas, the Vaikuntha Dutas, they arrive and they also give him mercy. They explain to him that this Mahakalpur, or this place of impersonal liberation, is not something that you're really interested in. And we request that you leave this place immediately and you go to the divine realm of Vaikuntha, of the spiritual world. And 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 they were there by the grace of God. They were there by the grace of Shri Krishna. They were there by the grace of the Lord of Vaikuntha to give him shiksha. Just like Lord Shiva manifests to give him shiksha. And just like later in his journey, he gets shiksha from Uddhav Prabhu, and he receives shiksha from Narada Muni on how to progressively go back to Godhead. But when the Vaikuntha Dutas were speaking to him, they said, you should leave this place. Don't stay here. Go to the realm of Vaikuntha. Go to the spiritual world. But to go there, you'll have to change the way that you chant your mantra. Now you're chanting your mantra formally. But to go to the spiritual world, your mantra has to be infused and permeated with love. So then naturally the question would arise, how is it that we can infuse our mantra with love? How is it that the mercy of Sri Krishna and the mercy of Guru Maharaj and the mercy of our Guru Parampara will be imbued in every syllable of the Maha Mantra that we chant? And they told him, if you wish to chant like that, then you must study Srimad Bhagavatam. You must study Shastra. And if you study the Srimad Bhagavatam, then your natural love for Krishna will awaken. We hear that repeatedly in the Bhagavatam itself. And it's explained to us that, after Krishna leaves this world, where are the principles of Dharma to be found? And that is in the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when I hear these offerings, which with so much Shastric reference, I can see that you're developing a nice taste and a nice relish for reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And that will transform your chanting. That will transform your heart. You chant Hare Krishna, this chanting of Hare Krishna, that's the real key and the real catalyst for opening the heart, cleansing the heart of all the unwanted things, extinguishing that fire of material life, and giving us the awakening of prema. But we have to have knowledge also. And that knowledge is the words of the Shastra. So I'm very thankful when I hear your offerings, not just because you're saying kind words to myself, because I feel unqualified to receive kind words like that, but because I can see that you're doing the right thing. We request devotees, please practice Krishna consciousness. And many times devotees think, well, should I do something quantitative? Should I build a temple, or should I start a project, or should I do this, or should I do that? But we always request, do something qualitative. instead of just thinking to do something big, although we were quite hardwired by our spiritual master to do big things, our spiritual master, he also wanted us to qualitatively become good, qualified devotees. We don't want to be devotees, just the tilak wallas and the kanti wallas like that, or having a sika on the back of the head. We want to become quality devotees. And I'm sure that I mentioned it before, but I wrote a Vyasa Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada once, and I actually used a lot of Shastra. And that was before we had computers and the reference was, more easy. But we really, just from what we had read, and then it took me a couple months to put my offering together. And Srila Prabhupada wrote me a response, and he said, thank you very much. He said, from reading your offering, I can see that you're reading my books. And if you read my books, you will always be happy and you will never be distracted by any type of, Prabhupada said, bogus philosophy. So he concluded, therefore, go on reading my books. So many people here have said such kind things for myself today, but I have to say that anything which may be perceived in my character, as small as it is just a reflection of that great personality of the Prabhupada. When it comes to Vaishnavism, when it comes to Krishna consciousness, when it comes to being a servant for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada is the gold standard. And we should always look to Srila Prabhupada. And then we should always, well, they're disciples of other spiritual masters here, so I will take the liberty to speak in this way. One should look at one's spiritual master, and one should see, that glory of Srila Prabhupada that has become manifest in the hearts of your spiritual master by their sincere and dedicated service to Prabhupada's mission. And then doing that practice to Krishna consciousness. Just like Srila Prabhupada was the gold standard in every respect, we can see that Prabhupada, he had such relish, he had such taste, he had such happiness in giving Krishna consciousness to others. I think it was maybe Kipamai, but was it you that quoted the verse about some people practice but they don't preach, and some people preach and they don't practice, but you're the greatest Vaishnava because you both simultaneously. That was spoken by Srila Sanatana Goswami to Srila Haridas Thakur. It was after that whole incident where Sanatana was feeling so bad because he had this diseased body, and Lord Chaitanya was always showing honor, and Lord Chaitanya, whenever he would see Sanatana, he would embrace him, and all of this nastiness from the diseased body of Sanatana would come on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sanatana just really he wanted to kill himself. First he wanted to kill himself, and then he just wanted to get out of Puri. He took advice from Jagadananda Pandit, what to do. I'm in this existential crisis. And Jagadananda said, well, the Lord said that he has a lot of work to do through your body, and he wants you to do this work in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So after Rath Yatra, you should just leave. So then Sanatan brought that up to Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya said, who has told you this? Who has instructed you in this way? And he said, Jagadananda. And then Lord Chaitanya, he said, Jaga. Who is this Jaga? He is such a small person compared to you. He said, I accept you as even my instructor. But who is this Jaga? And then Lord Chaitanya, he opened his heart in front of Sanatana Goswami and Haridas, exhibiting how much he actually loved them and how much they really meant to him, because of their efforts in Krishna consciousness. And then Lord Chaitanya, after he concluded, I think probably it says he left for his noontime duties, which would be to go to the ocean and bathe. And when he left, Haridas Thakur, he started looking at Sanatana and he said, there's nobody who's as fortunate as you. He said, you have received such blessings from Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Sanatana, in his Vaishnava humility, he looked up and he said, no. He said, you are the most fortunate. He said, some people, they 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 preach, but they don't practice. Some people practice, but they don't preach. But you do both things exemplary. And therefore, you're the greatest Vaishnava in the whole world. So that gold standard, Srila Prabhupada, he wanted us to practice and he wanted us to share. And somebody mentioned their family life in one of their offerings. But what did Lord Chaitanya instruct that South Indian Brahmin? He said, Yari Deki Tarikaha Krishna Pradesh. Amara Agnai Guru Tarahana Idesh. Everybody that you see, everybody that you speak to, give them Krishna's instructions. Amara Agnaya Guru, on my order, become Guru and save everyone in your life. And Prabhupada in his purport, he says, it's not rocket science. He said, you preach to your family members. You preach to your relatives. You preach to whoever you can. If you have more Shakti, you do big outreach like what we have here in Damodar Dash. You do big outreach. You have huge yatra. Touch so many souls with Krishna consciousness. Have Kirtan Oasis. Have people all over the world, going crazy. I have to go to Dubai for that Kirtan program. But Amara Agnaya Guru Tarahana Desh. So everybody here, Prabhupada's that gold standard. And naturally, the service of our spiritual master is our life and soul. This has to be the mentality of every disciple of any spiritual master. For Srila Prabhupada, the service of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that was his life and soul. He prepared his whole life to do that mission. And in the same way, all of us, we should see Srila Prabhupada, his example. We should see our spiritual masters, what they are doing, and we should do the same thing. Let us practice Krishna consciousness very nicely. Every day, let's try to make one step more in that goal of coming to Krishna. Every day, let's try to make one step more in awakening some real feeling for Krishna within the heart. Not just going through a formal process of Krishna consciousness, but wanting our hearts to move. It's like when Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when they were discussing the poetry of Srila Rupa Goswami, then Ramananda Roy, he looked up and he said, what is the value of the pen of the author or the arrow of the archer if it does not strike the heart immediately and cause the head to swim. Meaning, let's practice our Krishna consciousness so attentively and in such a good way that it strikes our heart and it causes our head to swim. Because I guess I can safely say that out of all of us here, I'm probably the eldest. And out of all of us here, I've probably been practicing Krishna consciousness the longest, 51 years. But I will tell you very clearly that one moment of real feeling in emotion in the heart to proper service to Guru Maharaj, to proper service to Sri Nam Prabhu, to proper service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and proper seva attitude towards Sri Radha and Krishna. That one moment, that 1 second, that can change our lives forever. So we should aspire for that in our practice of Krishna consciousness. And so let us do that. And I would like to say that you are all most fortunate here because you're wonderful devotees and you're all under the curatorship of Sri Bala Prabhu and his wife, and now his sons are rising up and taking so much responsibility, carrying on that mission. So you're very, very fortunate souls, and I'm very thankful to Sri Bala Prabhu that you take care of, I've seen Sri Bala Prabhu for 23 years now. He takes care of of every devotee in this yatra, just like, like they were the hairs on his chest. Meaning, they're so close and dear, close and dear to his heart. And he takes care of people that way. So everybody, improve your Krishna consciousness. Everybody, serve the mission through serving here in Damodar Desh. And really, do what you can do to awaken that feeling of emotional love for Krishna within your heart. Srila Prabhupada said, ultimately, what is our business? Our real business is we wish to become madmen and mad women for Krishna. So, of course, you have to, you can't get too mad in the workplace, but still, within your heart, always feel that love and understand that through seva, to the Vaishnavas, through seva to Guru Maharaj, and through chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, you can rest assured of achieving that goal. So thank you all very much. And just like you wished me a very happy birthday, I wish you all a very happy birthday. And you wished me good health, and I wish you all good health. And I wish you, well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Mukunda, he said, may you have spiritual prosperity, and may you have material prosperity. May you have all of that, but may all of you keep your minds constantly thinking of Krishna. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.